Mate, with clamps holding your phone, the red button is on. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ready Bang, the number one arm wrestling podcast in the world. I'm your host, the Aussie Arm Wrestler, and as always, I am the 2019 Melbourne Cup third place amateur left hand 80 to 95 kilos champion, the most sought after trophy in arm wrestling. But enough about me. Look at the guest we have on today. I have kept it local. This Australian praying mantis is absolutely dominant. He is an oceanic champion. He's competed in WAL. He's competed in Zloty. He's the third amigo when it comes to the pound for pound arm wrestling team. And we are lucky enough because he is one of the 8 people in Brisbane that are stronger than Levan. I call him the reach around. He's the reacher, Jordan Davis. Jordan, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, mate. Now, I must say that the second most sought after prize in Australian arm wrestling.
Oh, what have we got there?
I had to get this one specially out because yours is special to you. It's your first trophy, and this is mine. This is my first trophy, my third place, South Australian titles, under 80 kilos for 2015. My very first one.
And it was third place as well.
Yeah, mate. First place as well. It was my right arm as well. Just saying.
No, I'm left arm. I'm left arm.
Yeah.
Right arm's for weak people. Right arm's overrated.
We complement each other. You're left, I'm right. We're good. Got both sides of the table covered.
Mate, the dream match has already been set. I think if we put these 2 third-place trophies together, bang, I think it'll just be unbelievable. People will be talking about, oh, Michael and Devon, they're having a pay-per-view. No chance. Jordan Davis versus the Aussie Arm Wrestler. Third-place trophy, head-to-head. This just writes itself. I'm a bit excited. Let's get back to you. Jordan, how are you?
Mate, I'm doing well. I'm kicking shit out of the bucket, and I'm making room for arm wrestling, and really making some good progress at the moment. So I'm liking it.
Mate, I was checking my milk and some of the newspapers lately because you have got a bit missing on the arm wrestling scene. You've been doing a lot of reffing, which is very nice of you to volunteer your time and all that jazz, but we all know how deadly you are on the arm wrestling table, and some footage came out the other day of you just back on the table doing what you do best, and that is making 150 kilo blokes look proper weak. But we'll get into that a bit later on. I've run out of beers, so I will have a Jimmy can with you. That was all in the fridge stock.
Mario and Andy would be happy to see that. That's all I'm going to say.
That is a sweet drink, the Mario and Andy show. Shout out to you guys.
Absolutely, get onto it.
Absolutely. They're 2 fantastic guys. Now, let's all go back to the start. Some know, I know, but some of the people that watch the show don't. Now for people who don't know, Jordan is actually 8'4". So how does an 8'4" bloke get into the sport of arm wrestling?
Mate, it all started near on 7 years ago now. That shows my history in Australian arm wrestling now. Jeez. Mate, I broke my wrist playing basketball. Slam dunk, all that jazz. And
all that Utah jazz, it was right there, but whatever.
Yeah. Oh gosh, this is gonna be no, mate. I spent like fucking too long in a cast, and just 2 weeks out of it, my brother said, "Oh, why don't you come along? To arm wrestling." He'd previously met Ryan through different things, gotten some supplements off Ryan and stuff like that. I said, "No, I can't be bothered." I was a uni student at the time. And he's like, "Oh, I'll give you $50." So I'm like, "Hey, hello, $50." Woo! So, mate, I went along, and I was like, "Oh, not really my cup of tea type thing, but I'll stick around, to try and get a little bit of wrist strength back, and get back to where I was." 6 months later, well, I'm a little bit too deep in it now. Let's keep going.
Mate, I reckon when you got that $50, especially back then, I reckon at one stage you were officially Australia's highest paid arm wrestler.
I reckon it wasn't too far off it, hey? Like,
oh, beautiful.
Mate, usually it's a money pitch straight away, but I was on the up. Mind you, it probably just went to my fuel tank and, was gone in 60 seconds. But
good name for a movie. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, so you've got into it and you posted a video. So for those that don't know, Jordan's starting to dabble in YouTube. So go over. I'll put the link in the description. Go over and support him. As you can see, he's quite the character. And you posted that you had a bit of a start to your arm wrestling, a bit of a losing streak. Just didn't really go the way. I think before you go into that video, I think that video is fantastic because the way arm wrestling is with all of our hormones and egos and things like that, I turn up and get pinned by everyone. Then new people turn up and pin me. I'm just not as genetically gifted as some people. But it just shows that you can be an absolute dominant person if you just persist with anything. So what made you put that video out?
Mate, I was just kind of getting sick of people saying, but you're so good at it, how am I meant to get that good when, you're doing this and that, and I can't catch up to that. And I'm like, what do you mean? I started at the bottom of the tree. I was the freaking, the dead leaves on the ground. Mate, I walked in and, my wrist would just go, like that. That was me trying to hold it. Like, that was it. I remember Ryan laughing, the first time he did that with me because he was like, oh, you're nice and tall, try a posting top roll. And my wrist just went, there was no control. But, man, I just put in the hard yards, and that's what I really believe that everyone has to do. The hard yards, learn everything about arm wrestling, invest your time, and you can really achieve a lot. So a lot of people have been motivated, like my brother's in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and he saw it the other day for the probably third time, and he's like, bro, I always forget, how much, how hard you worked to get where you were and everything. I just, keep thinking that, you started good and, just kind of progressed a little bit, but it's been a huge freaking journey for me. And mate, it's been a really, really good one. Along the way, there's been people that I've just had to try and sort out and fight for, and just I just pick my target and try and reach them and just keep going.
Oh mate, so, it's been unbelievable and it's been really good to see. But you say it's been a long journey, and you talk about it like you're 45 years old. If I'm right, aren't you only 25, 26 years old? How old are you?
I'm 25, mate.
That's dangerous. That's dangerous. I was having a look, and I was like, oh, cool. And then I saw a photo, and it was like, happy 18th, and it was the other year. And I was like, what? What do you mean? I thought, I didn't think you were my age. For those watching, the Aussie arm wrestler's 36, turned 37 at the end of the year. Handsome man. But yeah, I thought, maybe Jordan might be reaching his 30s and things like that. You're still in your mid-20s, and you've competed, you've competed in WAL. That is, that's unbelievable. So I can't believe how much you're going to progress if you stick with it. For those that don't know, Jordan's got a lovely little family, and that's his number one priority, which I have mad respect for. Family first. So people need to support Jordan. Sponsor him. Get him competing. We need to see this guy on the table so he can just take a weekend off work and hit the tables. What are you weighing in these days? Because if everyone goes back and watches some old videos, when you were pulling, I was afraid if they put the air conditioning on, you might blow off the table. You were very, very light man. But some rumours have it that you're trying to put on a bit of timber.
Yeah, mate. Well, my first nationals, I competed under 70s. That's when I would have blown over, for, small gale, just kind of brushed my side. But I've fluctuated everywhere from my highest that I've been to was 94. That was the glory days. But they only lasted a very small time, and I started a new job, started working in a hot shed, and just started shedding the kilos without even realising. But mate, I'm making my way back up. I'm at 88 now. I'm aiming to put on another 5 to 6 kilos in the next month to 2 months. So, hopefully get there nice and settled, and then probably after August try and pack on a few extra kilos for over the top.
Oh, so how heavy do you want to come in at over the top?
Mate, minimum I want to be 105.
Minimum 105. So, guys, just a quick bit of context. In Australia, we are having our biggest tournament ever up in the Gold Coast, just down the road from Jordan's house. We've hired a casino. We are replicating Over the Top movie, having a tournament, and the overall winner gets 10,000 Australian dollars, but it's 10,000. And now Jordan has got his eyes set on that $10,000. So you want to get 105. Few years ago, that's 30 kilos in a few years.
Yeah. Yep.
So what are we? You got 2 roads to take.
Yeah.
You've got the fat boy diet, and you get to eat, take some supplements, and put on weight, or the other way that some arm wrestlers tend to take. Which way are you going?
You're talking about the highway, right? The slipstream, just down the road.
The like when you watch YouTube on 1.5 speed, that way.
Yeah. No, not that way. No, I can't afford that. The toll too much, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. But why specifically 105 kilos? Why 105?
Mate, basically to throw around with the boys that are going to be at that tournament, I need to be big enough that I know that I can throw my weight behind it and that they'll probably move with me. You know what I mean? Right now, some of the guys' lifts are actually, not far from my actual body weight. So for me to, move them whilst they're, moving my body weight with a wrist curl, not really favouring my chances there.
I cannot wait to see a ballooned up Jordan Davis. That would be hilarious, just with the double chin. Is that why you're growing a beard, just to hide the double chin?
Yeah.
Mate, that's gonna be absolutely solid. Now, the losing streak happened. Go check out that video, guys. It's just pretty cool. Not many people put themselves out there getting absolutely flogged. And some of these losses in Jordan's videos, he gets absolutely belted. So that's why it's good. When was that? Was there a specific moment? Was there a specific win? Because I've gone through some of your wins. Now, was there one where you just went, bang, I'm on. I'm going to be one of Australia's best?
It was more like a year. Basically, I had a really good couple of wins within 1 year. I was like, I can chase what I want now. Like, I can see the goal in sight. Within 12 months, I pinned the great Sam Spurry. I lost to Adam Laura, and then I beat Adam Laura only 2-3 months later. I lost to Danny Tesh, and then I had a war with Danny Tesh at the end of that 12 months. So in that 12 months, I went from really not being that much, just coming third at the Nationals in under 80s to having an all-out war with the 90-kilo national champion. And that, for me, was like a big leap in the year. And that was just before WAL. So within 18 months, I went from not having, anything really reputable to my name, losing to, a lot of people. And, not big names either, like Rory was getting good pins on me back then.
Saw those.
I had, I was in wars with Simon. And then all of a sudden I'm clipping on Adam Laura's heels and I'm telling Danny that he better watch out because I'm coming to beat him next. So it was a really good year.
There's some guys, go check out. I'll try and find the links and chuck them in the Wars with Danny Tesh. There's an absolute ripper one that I was watching just the other day. It's an absolute perler. Now, the rise comes. The rise of Jordan Davis. And he becomes Oceanic champion. Wins on both hands at a WAL qualifier event. Two things I want to ask. One, how awesome was it at the time to qualify for WAL? And two, what was it like beating your mate Ryan Bowen in the final to punch your ticket? Because in that video, he, pound for pound sponsor the challenge. I love Ryan, but in that video, he did not look happy.
Yeah, mate. So, first one, it was like euphoric. Like, I was working so hard to like qualify to be there. I'd already paid for my flights. Like I was going. Like it didn't matter. I paid for my flights like January that year, and the qualifiers were in March. Like I was going. It didn't matter how or when. I was going. And I was like, I'm just making a trip out of this. So I was originally like, okay, if I don't make pro, I'm going to go amateurs. I'm going to clean up the amateurs so hard, right? Because I wasn't feeling like I was quite there for Ryan, and I was worried about a couple other guys like Joffrey Jolie and Kyle Howard. So I was like, okay, I'm in that class, but whether I get there or not, because there was only 2 spots, I don't know, and then I took a loss to Kyle Howard in the prelims, which made me verse Ryan. So Ryan and I were on opposite sides of the draw, and I lost one round, which meant I jumped over to Ryan's side, and we had to verse to decide who went to the final, two. And it was best of 3, basically, to do it, and I felt I had Ryan's number. And, once I figured out and I got the strength to know where I had to beat Ryan, I've always known that he's not such a big worry for me in the back of my head. And that's the way it's been for the last 4 years. I'm like, I know how to beat him. I just know I got to be strong enough to do it that way. And that day I felt it through my hand. WAL suited me so well. I gripped up and the moment that I closed my hand, I went, I've got this. Like I knew it. Like I just had to launch.
Such a good feeling. Oh.
I closed your hand and you're like, everything like goes away. Cause like the setup was like, we were like, I don't know if you've seen the long version of it, but like Ryan was like going down on his tricep trying to get extra height. So I went down there too. Andrew Lee's like, come on you two, like get up.
Standing up and then you stop, like you're strapping up and then you stop and the strap comes off and you go again and
Yeah, so Luke took a foul purposely to try and get another setup in the, in the strap. So he literally took it off, said, yep, I'll take the foul for that so that he could try and restrap. And I knew at that point that I was good. I was good as gold. But beforehand, I was like, man, I can't do this. Hey, like how am I meant to beat him? Like he was the first guy that I grouped up with as an arm wrestler to like train me. And we built such, knowledge and form together. Like we changed the way that we pulled, we started, low hand top rolling basically in Queensland. At the time, everyone was posting prior. And then, when it happened, I was like, like I went to do the good thing, but he was already, like that much that he was going in his head, that when he lost to me, it took a big toll, So, yeah.
And I don't mind that. When I was watching the video and saw Ryan, he cracked it, but he didn't crack it at you. He was upset with his performance. And I've got nothing wrong with that in competitors. There's different ways you can carry on after a game, after a match. And that wasn't a problem at all. So you've qualified, Jordan's just snatched it out of his mate's mouth, and you're over to Vegas. So, did you know prior to going that like WAL funds had been pulled, wasn't going to be on ESPN? No.
It was 2.5 weeks prior to the actual tournament.
Wow.
So a week and a half from me leaving.
How does that feel knowing that, you know, because you're celebrity status, mate. You know, you need to be on TV. That's why I'm trying to launch you here. You know, I'm like, everyone knows my dream, sit with Neil Pickup on ESPN or Fox Sports, whatever, and call WAL. How does what did it feel like knowing I'm going to be on ESPN? I'm telling everyone I'm going to be on ESPN. Jordan, you're not going to be on ESPN. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, my training motivation, was in, I was like, I'm going to smash this, you know? And then the moment that I heard the pin pull, I was just, lost. I felt like, flubber.
Yeah.
You know? Without life, just dead on the floor, you know? Couldn't do it. I had to, go to Flight Center. I was like, can I get my flights and hotel back? No, it's too soon. You know, you can get X amount of this and that. I was about to lose, $2,000 worth of stuff. I was like, okay, I'm just going to go for a holiday.
Yeah.
And then thankfully Travis and Karen and Frank Bean, pulled together and, made the tournament that was that year. And a lot of people still showed up. Not as many as, there would have been, but it was still a good tournament.
Your tournament was stacked. If you go off the list, it was Sam Harris, Justin Bishop, Tom Holland, Patrick Berg, Giannis Amelins, Craig Sanders. I mean, the last two were the ones that did the job on ya. But it was still stacked. And we had, and of course, Kyle was over because he was the other Australian representing us. So I think there was 20, 25 people still there. So the card, you had the creme de la creme.
Yeah. Justin and Tony and that were all in the heavier weight class.
Oh, they went up? Okay.
Yeah. So I think I had Ezzy Warden, Giannis, Craig, who else was there?
Mate, it was stacked. I might even still have the list. It was absolutely stacked, the list.
Yeah, it was still decent. If Tony and all of that had been in there too, it would have been, if the prize money was still there, those boys were still cutting. Ooh,
yeah.
That would have been a big class.
What was the trip like though? Any partying stories? What was like gripping up with some of the world's best, if not the world's best?
Oh, mate, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Oh, no exclusives yet for the Aussie arm wrestler.
So I've got to divulge something.
Throw someone under the bus. Practice your 10-pin bowling right now and put someone under the bus.
Oh, who deserves to go under?
Bless them. They all do. No, it was such a good event and good on, I know Artem filmed a lot of it. I got to watch a lot of that tournament event from him filming, which was fantastic. And it's just really interesting to get that insight of, going to be on ESPN. I'm in the league. This is a launching pad, and then suddenly you're in a car park or a hotel lobby or something. Just, it just went back 10 years arm wrestling with that not being on ESPN. It was just
a country dance hall, basically, where they do this bar, 3 Ks down the main street of Vegas, right at the end type thing, but still got a decent enough space for us to compete in. But oh man, it was good.
Still would have been insane. Still would have been worth the trip. I mean, it would have been unreal.
I didn't just go to Vegas that year either. I decided to see the sights a little bit. I flew up to New York that year too. Went to see the Big Apple for 4th of July celebrations.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. And then I was lucky enough to go up and stay with Storm Chelino.
Yeah.
He hosted me up there for 2 nights, I think, and showed me around and did a training session up there. And then I went up to Devon's for a week, stayed with him and Jeff Slater up there. And then I also drove down to Niagara Falls and pulled with Crazy George.
Beautiful. That would have been good, Crazy George. That would have been unreal.
Yeah, it was good. It was really good.
Does he meet the name? Does he live up to the name?
Oh, mate, there was 2.5 hours of pulling, and I got like 2 pins. And that was me in like form for like, but man, he lives up to the name. I kid you not. Like,
yes, that's what we want. Absolutely. Yeah. Now, you went from one end of the spectrum, you're pulling in a barn dance and studio, probably took your cousin to the dance, and then from there, competing WAL as an Oceanic champion, you have just gone the other way and competed at Zloty Tur. What is that like? On TV, it looks insane. It just looks like the place to be. What's it like putting the gold shirt on and competing there?
So, when you walk into a nice basketball stadium and they've got, like 15 rows of seats up on one side, that's the part that you don't see.
Oh.
Basketball, and they just dress it up to make it so good. All the staging, everything like that, like the people on tables that you see, they're literally, on the basketball court with, basically tables over it. But mate, they make it look so mint.
Oh.
And like the people over there are so kind. Like we hung out with most of the Swedes for most of the trip type thing, along with, a couple of the other boys from England and stuff like that. But man, it was unbelievable. Like that trip and like that opportunity to try and pull with some of those boys was ridiculous.
Well, you went over there and you did well. I mean, it started off on the left hand. You got 2 wins. You ended up coming 6 on the left hand. Your first win against Sato. Like, when you get a pin at Zloty, on a scale of 1 to Aussie arm wrestler, how much do your balls just grow? You are at Zloty Tur on the table and you get your first pin. What is that like? I wouldn't have accepted any other answer. Absolutely. That would have been unreal. Two pins, lost the playoff for 5th place. I mean, to finish 6 on the...
elbow foul.
What's that?
Lost that one on elbow fouls too.
Yeah.
That we cannot find on video.
That old trick, was it? Hey, sure you did. Sure you did, mate. Sure. No, because I remember watching... I remember getting up earlier and watching yourself, Ryan, and Lockie pull. That was hard. And then on the right hand, 2 wins again. And then Patrick Berg appears to have your number. And he ended up finishing 3rd on the right hand. It was, what's it like when you get up there and the music's pumping and everything? Just let everyone know what it's like to compete at Zloty.
Yeah, so like when the music's pumping and like you're seeing all these great matches happen, like Zombalat versus someone else and stuff like that, you're like, oh my gosh, like I've got to like contend with that same level, like I've got to make it and a show of what I'm doing, So like I didn't hold back on the poor bastards. I just ripped. Just because, like, you feel like you have to. You're like, I've got to put in, like, 7th fucking gear here. Like, I've got to find that shit and just go. That's the way it feels. And like, the moment that you pin, you're like, all right, calm down. calm down. You know, say all that for the next round. Save all that for the next round. Calm down. Oh,
and then you got to go again, and then you got to compete again and again and again and try and get all the way to the top. But, you know, people talk about Ben Carroll's amazing, you know, stacked card. Yeah. But he finished 5th. You finished 6th. Just saying, that's pretty good. I know the big guys get all the attention, and mad respect to Ben Carroll, huge fan of the show. But that's nothing to slouch at your 6th placing.
Yeah. Well, if I'd beaten Patrick, the worst I could have gotten was 3rd like he did. So, and we were a couple of inches away from that. So, it would have been nice, but another day, another time. And hopefully I'll rip someone open.
Well then, like, what was it? Because you saw a really good photo. You ended up actually taking a photo with someone that you're stronger than, and that was, you got a photo with Levan. Yeah. What's he like?
Mate, he's like, we met him in an airport before we got over there. And, you know, we were just like, oh, g'day, mate. You know, you want to come down and sit with us, you know, have a quick chat. Really, really broken English. Yeah. But really nice guy, and just, you know, sitting there humbly, you know, like, you know. He just looks like a, you know, nice big puffy teddy bear sitting there, you know. and then you see him walk out for, like, the comp, and you're like, where did he go?
Yeah.
Can the other one come back now?
Oh, yeah. That's cool. That's cool to know that he's all right. But yeah, I saw that photo and I was like, man, that was awesome. That would have been so cool to meet him. But yeah,
times that I get outsized with hand, and when I saw him, I'm like, oh shit.
Show everyone. Put it up to the camera. Show everyone. What's your base to tip of your finger? What's that length?
I don't know.
It's massive. That's what it is. It's massive. It's ridiculous.
That's all it can be.
But then there was a nice video going around. Might have been about a year ago, I reckon. There might have been some proclamations. Is maybe the word I'm going for. Is Jordan Davis the next Devon Larratt? May have watched the video. May have watched the video a couple of times on this one, young Jordan. That's probably how I should have introduced you. For those that don't know, Jordan doing a bit of work with his mate Ryan Bowen on Pound for Pound. And there is a video out there. Is Jordan Davis the next Devon Larratt? Have a watch of it. Go over, support the channel, support all the channels. You know I love all the arm wrestling channels. Go and have a watch. Jordan had a pretty good training session with a beat-up Devon. Made him look weak, and now Jordan's the next one. What were your thoughts when you were making that video and then Blue chucked the thumbnail out? I love it. I love all that.
Don't you love the difference in me pulling in the journey? Me pulling Devon there too.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. No, but the funny thing about that one with Devon was, like, I was just standing there, you know, watching him pull and stuff like that. And then, like, he sees me and he's like, hey, get here. And, like, called me under the table. I'm like, oh, shit, all right. Walk over. And, like, I feel it. He was just being too casual on the first one. I was like, I'm going to rip through this. I'm going to pull right through this one. Oh, gosh.
He was fantastic. Shout out to Devon. He was fantastic when he came to Australia. As the arm wrestler was just getting into the sport then. He was brilliant the second time he'd come over. Now, speaking of Australia, I want to get your thoughts, because you're one of the prime pigs in Australian arm wrestling. What is your thoughts on how Australian arm wrestling is going? Because you've been there during some of the dark times where 8 of yous in the whole country were competing. You know, there wasn't this social media and you know, everyone getting in contact, and now everyone that pulls in Australia are really good mates. You've come from competing in front of 4 people, you know. From then to now, what are your thoughts on Australian arm wrestling And is someone taking your eye at the moment who may be a bit of an unknown? And you just go, right, let me put you under the Jordan Davis training. You'll be a superstar.
All right. So, I was lucky enough. I came in at early 2014, so there was already a small foundation by the AEF. You know, they'd already laid the platform for everything to grow that we see now. So, I was lucky enough. You know, tournaments were still having 15, 20 people type thing at minimum, and then classes would then be 8 to 10 people type thing. But it's been so weird lately. Like, I remember going to the Brisbane Heavy Hitters first time at Roma Street Parklands, rock up, and I'm like, oh, sweet, there's like 20 guys here, 5 tables, this is brilliant, all the old original guys, I'm like, sweet, And then I remember going to muscle coach training for like probably 3, 4, 5 months, and it'd be like maximum 11, 8. I'm like, where did everyone go? Like, what's up? And then all of a sudden we've got the Gold Coast crew, we've got Bayside Krakens here. It was like, overall, we've probably got over 50 decent arm wrestlers that can show up to a tournament just in Southeast Queensland that would show up. And it's so crazy, like the level that's coming now, everyone's just stepping up bit by bit, and it's crazy how fast everyone is learning.
It's brilliant, especially because they're all watching YouTube and everything before they jump on the table, where I would just watch over the top. And that's probably the worst way to learn how to arm wrestle. That's my favourite movie. And to jump on, they're like, what do you mean I can't flat hand you, wind back, and then pin you? What do you mean I'm getting pinned straight away? It's But speaking of Southeast Queensland and the powerhouse and Bayside, shout out to you guys. You don't really compete. You haven't really competed in a while, but you've become probably one of the most hated referees going around. And why I say one of the most hated referees, guys, go back. Jordan and I had an absolute ball. We were at the Queensland State Championships December last year. And I reckon, no word of a lie, I reckon there was 10 matches. And they were absolute battles. Something that if you are a new arm wrestling fan, this is what you want to see. And these guys were killing it until Jordan pipes up and they've had a battle. Elbow foul. And boy, did I get stuck into him. What happened that day? I've been dying to know. Were you just tired? Were you getting paid by the hour? What was going on? Because there were battles and the Aussie arm wrestlers on the microphone and I'm sweating and I'm doing this one and I'm losing my voice. I'm ready. Bang! Look at this match and it's unreal. And then the crowd roars because someone gets a pin and then we all dart our eyes to the right. Do it again.
Mate, I'm being centre of attention. That's what No, mate, I've got this thing where I just call it. Like, I'm sorry, if it's there, I have to call it.
It's good. It's good. You mate, to put a bit of context to it, guys. There was about, no word of a lie, I think we added up about 315 matches, and yourself. And Tom did a phenomenal job that day. But it was just funny. Anytime there was a war, I'd look over, and it was awesome.
Liam did a great job that day too.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, that's right, because there was 3 of you. That's right, because Andy had the super match. So I always wind up the refs, but I'm the first one to get them a beer or a creamy soda when the job's done. So I'm always happy with that. Now, everyone wants to know, including the Aussie arm wrestler,
okay,
besides over the top, what is in the future of Jordan Davis? Call someone out on the show now. Call them out. Let's organise a super match. I'll fly somewhere to call it. I'll come to Melbourne, call someone out from the Hop where I train. Call someone out, Jordan. We need to see you compete.
My full effort at the moment is going to be coming to the Vic State titles, believe it or not.
Ooh.
I'm gunning for coming for you guys. It's been way too long since I've seen you all. So I'm heading down. Haven't booked flights, obviously, COVID pending. Yeah, mate, I want to get ready for Vic. I want to take out the supers and have fun.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. I'll make sure. Oh, that's unreal. Beautiful. There's always a bed at the Aussie Arm Wrestlers house, mate. If you and your lovely family are coming down, you're struggling for accommodation, hit me up, mate. I don't live too far from where they're having the Nationals, mate. So more than happy to help out. But good. That's coming up soon, guys. We really need to see it. Now, everyone that comes on the show has to play the Aussie Arm Wrestlers game. I absolutely love it. Going to give you the name of 3 pullers.
Let's do it.
Going to give you the name of 3 pullers.
Yeah.
You have to decide which one you're going to pin, which one you're going to lose to, and which one you are going to say, no more arm wrestling.
Oh.
But once I give you the 3 names, there's a special Jordan Davis rule in this one. That's a first here. Okay, so of course I'm going to attack you right in the heart. Your first person is Lachlan Adair. Your second person is Ryan Bowen. And your third person is Danny Tesh. Now, where I am throwing the rule is, you cannot tell Danny Tesh he can't arm wrestle anymore. He has to be in the pin or lose to category.
Obviously. Well, mate, that's the easiest one to start with. Let's just get Danny out the way.
The unicorn.
Ready? Too good. I'll lose to Danny.
You're gonna lose to Danny. Wow.
Yeah.
You're not gonna take the opportunity to pin the unicorn, Neil Pickup's favourite puller.
Mate, I can't end the legacy.
Wow.
It's just, there's so much. There's so much legacy now. I can't do it. Man,
Yeah.
you can't leave that third-legged shadow in the dark.
Wow, such a noble character. Wow. Now, this is where the fun part comes. So who are you going to pin and who are you telling no more arm wrestling for you in 2021? Now, these are your 3 amigos. This is...
Mate, you said it, and I can't help but say this.
Ooh.
I'm going to win over the top, and to do so, I got to pin everyone. So, guess who's getting pinned?
Ryan Bowen.
Lachlan.
Oh! Well, wait. He's calling the big guns, ladies and gentlemen, and he's told one of his best friends, he's told someone that sponsored him, put a lot of Jordan Davis miles in the arm wrestling world, and he's telling Ryan, no more. No more. Big call. Big call. Got to recap. He is going after the big overalls. He wants Lachlan Adair. He's going to pin him. He's sitting down. He's bowing out to the great Danny Tesh. And then he's telling the guy that he's helping putting arm wrestling on the map. He's saying, that'll do, son. That'll do for your 2021. You can just stick to filming and podcasting. Wow, Jordan Davis goes bang. That's what we want to hear. Alrighty, before we wrap this up of having way too much fun, and this could have easily been an 8-hour episode, I'm going to just fire off a few quick fire questions. No
Please
thinking.
Do. Okay.
Just tell me the answers.
Okay.
Do you prefer super matches or tournaments?
Tournaments.
Oh. Are you a fan of the King's move?
Yes.
You are. Now this question could go either way. What was with your eyebrows? So the photo that I sent you, and everyone's clicked on the thumbnail to watch this podcast, you have hardly any eyebrows. Is this a fun story, or is this a not so fun story?
No, that's just me not liking my eyebrows. So,
no, what?
Yeah. No, everyone was like, man, your eyebrows are so big and thick, you know, you got a monobrow, you know, and like that. So I just went,
No, swear on Danny Tesh's unicorn.
Yeah.
What? Oh my God. Oh, when I was just thinking about how I was doing the show, and I was just doing a bit of research, and I'm seeing all these photos. Guys, go check him out. He's hardly got any eyebrows, and I was like, oh, I don't want to sit there and come in hard about the eyebrows, and it's a not so good story. So I thought, throw it in at the end. But you've lopped off your own caterpillars.
So it was fine.
Wow. Well, it's in the thumbnail. You've clicked on the thumbnail. Go back and double check the thumbnail. It's hilarious. Is it annoying to lose to someone named Pepe?
No.
I mean, he is a beast.
Why would it be bad to lose to a Brazilian overall champion, someone that splash pinned Danny Tesh, someone, you know, that easily ranks probably a lot higher than he is on our Australian rankings? I didn't care at all.
Oh, no.
You know?
Credentials aside, his name was Pepe.
Yeah.
Get a tougher name. Just saying. Get it. No, he was an absolute beast. There were some really good matches, but then, I'm not going to lie, a part of me in my immature side went, Pepe.
Just saying, same weight, bring it.
Yes. What was in the arm fights? Arm fights. I'm trying to think which one. Arm fights, where he takes the chocolates. You can tell there's a significant. Well, it looks like a significant weight difference. What was the weight difference between?
20 kilos.
20. Yeah. Okay. I didn't think it was that much, but now that I go back and think about it, yeah, it was 20 questions. Last question. Can you name the other 7 guys in Brisbane that are stronger than Levan?
Yeah, they just live down the street. Just I'm sure it's not too far.
Yes. Beautiful. Brisbane, it's the epicenter. It is the pinnacle for the strongest people in the world. I will get you to nominate someone who you think will have a laugh on the show. Who do you think would be someone that would be good for the show? They could be local. They could be international.
Mate, you need to. You've already done a collab, but you need to get the boys on to your show. Oh. Come on. Andy and Mario, come on.
All right.
Have a good Jim Beam sesh with them. Put it on your show, all right? Put it on your terms, not theirs, and make them sweat a little bit.
I'm always happy to return serve. I had Mario on once when he had a match with Brett Coots and shit the bed. He was in panic mode, but that's okay. I like it. Mario and Andy, I am coming for you. Last thing before we wrap up, Jordan, everyone knows the Aussie arm wrestlers catchphrase is ready, bang! Yeah. I need to see the Reach Around's best impersonation.
Ready, bang!
Yes! Someone with passion that has jumped on and done it. Guys, this is Jordan Davis. You've got to understand he is a character. If you haven't enjoyed the last 45 minutes, you haven't enjoyed arm wrestling. Do what you can to support this guy because we just need to see more of him. Go support his channels. Go support all of his social medias and things like that. Do what you can to get him at your tournament. Help him out with some flights. Help him out with some sponsorships. Get him at every single tournament, not as a ref. The guy is a beast and he's chasing the big ones at the top. We absolutely need it. Jordan, I cannot thank you enough for coming on the show.
No worries, mate. But before you wrap it up there, I am going to try and head out, do something that I did do a couple of years ago I'm going to try and head to a couple of clubs that I haven't been able to get to yet and spread a bit of love, spread a bit of knowledge if I can. So I might try and head down to Canberra, maybe up to Townsville. I've been saying for years that I'll head up to Townsville and help the boys out up there. And I might even try and get to the new Newcastle one as well.
Townsville have an arm wrestling club?
Yeah, mate. Yep.
Someone from Townsville get in contact with me. I did not know about this. I need to know about this.
Sam Tantillo from the Queensland comp that you commentated. He's from Townsville.
Get in contact with me, Sam. I want to help out the Townsville club. Yeah, guys, that's it. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Tell all your friends about Jordan Davis after, of course, you've looked after the Aussie arm wrestler. Really appreciate everything, guys, and we will see you next time.
No worries. Appreciate it, guys. You take care, mate, and it's been great talking with you, all right?